and I don't want him to be able to do that. So I started making a couple of my spires so that I can switch over to Midas later on if he decides to start massing a lot of tanks. I also bring my overlords over. I made a speed a bit earlier on. Against mech you want to make overlord speed and overlord drop too later on, or pretty soon even, so that you can detect those spider mines early on, and so that you can kind of have it ready so that you can kind of see better what's happening around the map, and so that you can keep control over the situation better, and so that when your drop final finishes, you will have it ready and you will be able to drop his main. And right now I'm just trying to think of a new expansion preventing his vulture harass as well as possible. Massing up, getting my economy up, getting my drop upgrade just now so that I can kind of try to drop him whenever he moves out. Like, one thing to note about this is that when a mech player is still inside his main and he's massing up in his main, usually you don't want to drop at that point, because he's gonna have his army ready right away, and he's gonna have so many tanks and so many Goliaths that your drops probably won't do much damage. Like, the best you could do is kill some supply depots, and that might really be a big advantage, but the likelihood of that happening is still relatively small, so you want to avoid that. Now I'm trying to get the new expansion up as early as possible, because at the moment I don't have any problem. I have a pretty decent army. He hasn't been able to slow my economy down much, and that's really one thing you want to note about when fighting mech. Like, your economy, they want to slow it down early game as much as simply possible, and if you can prevent them from slowing down your economy, then that's a huge thing, like, for you. And like, if they slow your economy down much, there will be no way that you will be able to defeat his mass of units and death army when he finally moves out. But if he's not able to slow down your economy and you're able to do fine, then he will have a very hard time dealing with you, because you have a lot of units, you have a very good economy, you will be able to produce a lot of units really fast, and you will have otherwise too a really decent army. Now, I saw vultures over at the edge of his base when I was with my hiders over there, so the likelihood of his main having mines is relatively high, so I just want to keep that in account over here. Now, I don't want to drop right away. I just want to be kind of ready with it whenever he tries to move out. Like, if he's still in his base, instead of just sitting around, you always get the thing that I gotta do something. Like, I could just be sitting around here getting my economy up, but that's really the only thing you can when a mech player is camping. You don't want to feed him any units if simply possible. Like, if you keep feeding him units, you lose whatever advantage you may have gained. So I separate my overlords right now over here a bit to make it seem like I'm not making a drop or anything in case he scans me or something. But I also made a pretty huge mistake over there by showing him my overlords when he to that science facility and that missile turret. He probably already suspects that I have drop ready and so on. So I really want to be a bit more careful with that. Now I think he's moving out when I see his army like that with my overlord, so I prepare for a drop. Unfortunately though, he scanned over there just in time. He was pretty sure I was probably gonna drop anyway, and here I am trying to drop it over a bit, but to my bad luck, he was extremely prepared for this drop, and this is exactly what he wanted, which is not a good thing at all. Like, he has a lot of science vessels over here ready, and he had a ton of mines, he had a tanks ready, and he was overall just ready to destroy my drop if it ever came. And this is not a good situation for me at all. And at the moment I just gotta somehow keep the game together, keep massing units, keep getting my economy up, and being ready whenever he tries to move out. Like, I expect him to move out pretty soon, because after all, I just screwed up a pretty big drop over there, and he was able to deal with it with almost no damage at all. So that's really something. Like, this is usually a good time for him to either take a new expansion or move out. And as my minimap shows, he's at least trying to take a new expansion. I'm not sure yet whether he's trying to move out or not. Um, and I'm just trying to get a new sunken colony over to my expansion over here, because that expansion will be a bit harder to defend, and I just want to I just want to give it some extra defense in case he tries to bring over some vulture raid or something. Now my plan is that I kind of try to go down before he can set his defense up, and trying to sneak through to his command center down there, and kind of trying to kill it, or at least kill part of his economy, and sneak from down here, kind of attack when he's not ready, like and attack over here. Now, to my luck, it at first at least seems that he's not too prepared for it, but it seems that this is exactly what he was kind of expecting to happen. Like, he expected me to come over with Mira, so he had a lot of turrets over here, and instead of making Goliaths, he instead has been massing science vessels, which allow him to deal with my Miras in a much stronger way. And with this, he doesn't even, he barely needs Goliaths at all. Of course he needs some Goliaths to finish up my mutas that have very low hit points, but but at this point it's gonna be really hard for me to deal with that army. Like, he probably has a lot of tanks. He can just keep concentrate on massing pure vessels, tank, and some vultures for some cover, mines, and harassment, and that's not a good thing at all. Now I've already lost 2 big armies to his mech, and whatever advantage I may have had over him, it's pretty much gone at this point. Like, this is exactly what keeps happening if you fight against mech or so. If you get careless, if you waste your units, it's over. Like, it can be it can be just like this. You don't have the Defiler that will save your game, because he has tanks that do so much blast damage that even if you have Defiler, Dark Swarm, it's really not gonna be a huge lifesaver. Yes, it's gonna help, but it's not gonna be a lifesaver like against infantry. So against mech, you don't want to waste, and you don't want to get careless. If you do a mistake like this, you can easily lose the game. At this point, I just want to delay him as much as possible and try to get my as big of army out as possible. I really don't want to make mutas after I saw that many vessels, and so that mutas really ain't gonna do me much good. So at this point, I just mainly want to concentrate on making some hydras. I mean, massing hydras and trying to somehow make him attack when he makes a mistake, or somehow do something when he makes a mistake. Now, I really didn't want him to get that corner expo, because once he destroys that, if he destroys that, he will have a pretty huge economical advantage, and that's not something I want. Like, if I'm fighting 3 base against 3 base mech, the chances of me winning are extremely low. You want to have a much better economy. You want to be able to make a huge army right away. And at this point, I kinda got a bit stupid. Like, my economy wasn't too good. I had like over 1,000 of both gas and minerals, and I got impatient, and I was like, okay, it's okay, my macro sucks, or whatever. I'm just gonna make mutas, since that will get rid of my spare money really fast and quick. But that wasn't a really good decision. And I kind of didn't realize it. Like, I saw him have a very small number of Goliaths, but so I thought that, okay, I'm gonna be fine. Like, he doesn't have too many Goliaths, so my mutas will be fine. But I forgot completely just how many science vessels he had, and just like you saw over here, he barely even needed Goliaths to destroy all of my mutas, and it's over. GG.